Hey, this is Paul Acevedo with Windows Central.
Hello, this is Ed Boon. I'm creative director at NetherRealm Studios.
Ed Boon, you have a storied game development history. I understand you're responsible for the Mortal Kombat franchise, co-creator.
I am one of the co-creators of Mortal Kombat, yes.
Awesome. So you've had kind of a lifelong interest in fighting games?
Not lifelong, but certainly the past 25 years. Mortal Kombat actually is celebrating 25 years this year, which is fun.
Not bad. So on the subject of Mortal Kombat, I see it said online a lot of the time that there have been no good video game movies. But how do you feel about the first Mortal Kombat movie? I thought that was pretty good.
I agree, and as a matter of fact, I remember when it came out that it was kind of called out as that. Like I heard a number of people saying, "Oh wow, finally a good video game adaptation movie," and I was happy with it too, and and it did really well. You know, it was actually at the time it was the second biggest August opening in movie history, but that was a long time ago.
Not bad. Well, I mean, you must be really proud to have had something you worked on adapted into a movie. That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, it was surreal. Like, yeah, I remember going onto the set and just going, I can't believe they're making a movie out of this. In a very good way. It was a very surreal experience.
And now you're working on Injustice 2, which is in a way sort of based on movies, or at least characters who appear in enough movies.
Yeah, it's based on, comic book characters that were eventually turned into movies and games and animated shows, and we're doing a game based on that, so it's full circle about 2 or 3 times.
So before we talk about part 2 specifically, how did you guys end up with Injustice?
We actually did a game called Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe way back, I don't know how many years it's been now, 8 years or something like that, at least. And when we did that game, there was certainly a challenge with, Mortal Kombat is like an M-rated game, and the DC Universe, we're not going to cut Superman's head off or anything crazy like that. So there were certain decisions that we had to make to kind of keep it a T-rated game, and I think Mortal Kombat players really wanted their Mortal Kombat game. So we finished that game with 2 things. We knew 2 things. One is we wanted to do a pure Mortal Kombat experience, which was Mortal Kombat 9. And then we also knew that we wanted to do a pure DC fighting game, over the top experience, and that was Injustice 1. And that really kind of planted the seeds for the more contemporary versions of Injustice and Mortal Kombat.
Tell us about some of the differences then with Injustice 2.
Oh, there's the differences that you would hope for or expect, or more characters, a bigger roster, new story, improved graphics, all of the things that you would want in a sequel. But then, the big thing that we're adding, which is we always want to make our games have something that people were not expecting, and that's our gear system. That's the whole system of costume pieces for every character, hundreds of costume pieces for every character that you can equip on your character and change their look and their gameplay and make your own customized version of Superman, Batman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, all these iconic DC characters, and that's the big difference with Injustice 2.
So how do we acquire these new pieces of gear?
By playing the game. If you play the single-player game, if you play the story mode, you're getting gear. You play the multiverse, you're getting gear. You play online against other people, you're getting gear. So you're basically, it's almost like you're rewarded gear for just playing the game and your experience on the game. And then you start using that gear to kind of craft your own character. So it's a great kind of cycle that you just get for normally playing the game.
And speaking of customization, can we customize the color of the gear or anything like that?
Yes, you can. Yeah, we have these things that we're calling shaders, and which is actually kind of like a common term with a number of games where you can kind of pick a different color palette of sorts, so you can get a darker palette or a silver palette of Superman or a gold-like palette of Superman or Flash, and those will let you, pick a completely different look. And then there's what we're calling premier skins, which is changing you to a different character. So Supergirl can be changed to Power Girl. Hal Jordan Green Lantern can be changed to John Stewart Green Lantern, and Flash can be changed to the Reverse Flash. So it's a lot of really cool, again, personalization things that we put in the game.
So to get one of these premiere skins, are you piecing it together or do you get it all at once?
Well, you get a premiere skin is kind of like a shader, so you can be rewarded it. You can they can be dropped in a what's called a loot drop, and so you as you play the game, you kind of like earn these different shaders and premiere skins.
I know the one way you unlock things is through the new Multiverse mode. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. Multiverse is a mode where there are different challenges throughout the game, and these challenges only last for a certain period of time. The challenges will sometimes give you exclusive gear if you accomplish them. Sometimes they need certain gear just to even enter it and qualify for it, and they are always changing. Some of them will last 3 hours. Some of them will last 7 days. Some of them will last 1 day. Some of them, so they're every time you turn the game on, there's a different challenge to achieve and unique gear for that challenge. So that's what's so cool is you can log on every day. You can basically turn your game on and you have a brand new challenge that will give you unique gear.
And are they going to keep refreshing throughout the life of the game?
Absolutely, yeah.
So how many characters will be in the game at launch?
The game will launch with 28 of the original cast, and you will also be able to download Darkside, or if you pre-order the game, you get Darkside for free. But then throughout the course of the game's life, we're going to release 9 more characters about every few weeks. So it's going to go all the way out, through the summer into the fall, and with characters, it's going to be great.
And can you tell us about the process of selecting these characters to be in the game?
There's a number of factors. One is what does the story need? What do we want to see? We never got a chance last time to do Firestorm, Dr. Fate, Captain Cold, these characters that we really wanted to get into the game. And what the feedback that we get from players, the people who loved the first game, they were, tons of them were saying, I want Dr. Fate, I want, Cheetah, I want Swamp Thing, I want, all these kind of iconic characters that we just simply didn't have the ability or the bandwidth to do in Injustice 1. We're given those fan services with this game.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of characters from the current CW DC shows. Was that a conscious choice?
I think those characters in general are a lot more in the forefront, so we knew I will never make a DC game that doesn't have the Flash in it. Absolutely, Supergirl was, being a lot more prominent now, so we had to include her. We wanted to include her, and she plays a huge part in our story, which is great. And just other influences, like what comic books are hot, what animated shows did well, and what people want to see, basically.
Were there any characters you would have liked to have included but weren't able to get permission to use?
No, permission really wasn't the factor. It was like last time. It was just you can only do a finite number of characters. DC has probably in the hundreds of characters, and so we clearly don't have the the ability to do every single one of them. It's just just going further and further into the roster. Trying to represent the most visibly represented characters in the various forms of media.
You mentioned Supergirl. I remember that Superman was basically the villain in the first game. Is Supergirl also on the antagonistic side, or is she more of a heroic character?
She is the stuck in the middle character, which is really cool, and there's a great dynamic that happens with that. I don't want to give too much of the story away, but there's a great dynamic there.
Okay, well, it was really great meeting you, and thank you for telling us about Injustice 2.
Thanks for this.
Alright guys, thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to follow me, and whatever you do, don't hate, appreciate.